All right, catchy title, clickbait, but it's true. I can't get an Apollo twin, and I'll tell you why. So there's actually two reasons, but I'll kind of break it down. The first reason is it didn't work on my computer. I actually bought an Apollo Solo, and they tried to make it work, and it didn't work. I bought the Apollo twin, and the tech, he was really nice, he actually had remote control of my computer, but he couldn't get it to work. So in the end, it didn't work, and I was bummed out because I was always, for the longest time, I look at the Apollo twin and I'm like, dude, I want to get it. It sounds like conceptually kind of cool, but I can't get it. Right? It just doesn't work with Windows, and it always kind of bummed me out. But I do want to say something. I think it actually, for right now, I just want to say this right now because things can change at any moment. But at least for right now, what I can say is it's been a blessing in disguise because, in my opinion, as I kind of look at it more, I feel like I don't need an Apollo twin. I feel like so the thing is, the Apollo twin works fantastic on Macs. It's perfectly fine, but on PC, we have issues all the time. And even in various voice acting discords and tech discords, the common theme is like, oh, I have an Apollo twin and it's not working on my PC. Help! And we're just like, sorry, like it is what it is. Like they just don't figure it out, or they eventually figure it out, but then I don't know what the hell happens, but it doesn't quite work out. But here's what I'm realizing, and this is a hot take. I'm realizing that if you get an Apollo twin, it's a losing battle. And hear me out. If you get an Apollo twin and you don't get any plugins, let's say you don't buy any plugins, then you are no better off in terms of audio quality from an SSL2. Because in my opinion, from tests we've seen from other voice actors and from other people, the SSL2, in my opinion, sounds just as good as an Apollo twin. Without plugins. Okay? So on that front, that's a loss. But what if you do buy plugins? You're still screwed. You know why? Here's a hot take. An Apollo twin is actually like $2,000. It's not, because you know what happens? People I'll just buy a few more plugins. They spend money and they buy some plugins. And then they're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to spend a couple more $100, and I'll buy some more plugins, right? They put $200 in. And then, they're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put in a couple more $100 in. And then they're like, I'm going to put a couple more $100 in. And they just keep throwing money and money and money. And you know what? That interface is now $2,000 because you never see a person just only buy one plugin. They keep buying and buying, and it never ends. They keep buying and buying and buying and buying. And so my hot take is this, I'd rather just get I don't like it when I have to keep paying money for something. I like it when I buy it, it's one and done. So I feel like if you're on PC, instead of trying to get the Apollo twin, get the Babyface Pro. Because the Babyface Pro, even though it costs a little bit more money, it's kind of like pricey, it's you don't have to buy it again. And in my opinion, this is a hot take, really hot take. The Babyface Pro is just as good, if not better, than anything they throw at you on the Apollo twin. And let me tell you something. You will never be turned down from any studio. They actually will I have used this interface many times, and they ask me flat out, like, your audio sounds amazing. Like, what are you using? And I'm just like, I'm just using the Babyface Pro. And they're like, that sounds great. Like, that sounds fantastic. Now, I'm going to be honest. You notice that I never use the Babyface Pro, on all these recordings. I'm using the F6 because the truth of the matter is, I like the F6 because it's easy. It's simple. It's simple mode, right? But what I'm trying to say is, if it's serious mode, right? If I'm doing a serious project, I will use the Babyface Pro. And in my opinion, again, hot take, it sounds just as good, if not better, than anything and everyone and anybody who uses an Apollo twin. So, the only key difference is that you only pay for this only once. But with the Apollo twin, you're constantly paying more, and they never stop. You know what happens? Ooh, a new plugin, and they're just like, now you're broke. So it's either you're broke or you're really rich, one of the two, right? So I just feel like it's a losing battle. That's just my hot take. And in my opinion, like I said, if they're not buying plugins, then you are no better off just using an SSL2, right? So that's why I can't buy an Apollo twin, because it just doesn't make sense for me. Plus, it ain't going to work on my computer because it never does. They just don't work on PCs. So, and here's the thing. Some people will say that the Apollo Solo USB, that variant will work on PC. However, nobody ever just gets the Solo. They buy the Solo and they're like, you know what? I want more DSPs. And so they buy the Twin. And what is confirmed is that the Twin does not work on Windows. So you're fucked. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't buy one. So that's my hot take. All right, you guys have a great one. All right, bye.